Hi, everybody. Welcome to Raw and Somewhat Slightly Blurred. I just got home and I had to hurry to get everything ready. I'm having a couple weddings this weekend. One wedding will be in Half Moon Bay and the other one will at the Oakland Coliseum. So, if you have two weddings back to back, it's quite stressful. I like to often go to bed early, be prepared, have good sleep. You don't always get good sleep. So I made a list and I had to think about it. What do I do? How do I manage not to get stressed? I I actually made a list. I'm going to look at the list because I'm forgetful. I have often a wedding every weekend or sometimes twice on a weekend. I got into a habit to check in each week. I check in with the brides of that next following weekend. That way, I'm fresh in my memory. What do the bride likes? I tell the bride to make a family photo list. I ask them for the itinerary. I ask them for parking. As a matter of fact, the wedding on Saturday is at the Oakland Coliseum, and I was thinking, God, that's a pretty big place. How am I going to find the couple? Where they're going to be? I've never been at the place, and I don't have really time to drive over there. I live in San Francisco. We don't like to drive over the bridge very often. It takes hours. I don't accept. Sometimes I don't even want to take on an engagement shoot because it really takes an hour to get over the bridge. Traffic is insane. But let's not get into traffic. It's way too stressful. Other things that I like to prepare for, I like to prepare my gear the night before. I can't sleep if I know my gear isn't ready. I check if all my batteries charged. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go further back. After I shoot, I take all my batteries out and charge them immediately. That's almost the first thing when I walk into a door. So I just actually prepared my gear. I checked my cameras. I put batteries in. I used two flash cards in each camera. Then I time sync my cameras. Very important because if you don't do that, you're really messing up your editing later. Then I check if I have batteries for the flash. I use Flashpoint, and let me get one of them. This one uses big batteries, so you can charge them. I love them. They last all day. I literally can shoot 8 hours with that. If you use the little AA batteries, they're okay, but they often get hot and they don't last as long. And I do use rechargeable for that too. So I have two of those and two old ones where I use rechargeable batteries. I have actually an extra backpack where I just have my flashes, and I also store my batteries there. And I bring one charger. I make sure I need reading glasses, so I make sure I have reading glasses, at least two or three, because you break one, you lose one, you leave them in the car. So back, let me look at my list. I made a list for you. I also, okay, hold on. Here's one thing I like to do. If I have to be at a shoot at 2, again, I'm going to use the Oakland Coliseum wedding on Saturday. We're going to be arrive and the game will be already going on. And I had to make sure I know where to park. I had the bride send me a plan. So I know where I have to get in. I really like to be prepared where everything is. I won't get into much detail with that. But so knowing traffic, you have to always think that if you drive over the bridge, there will be traffic. I like to arrive an hour early to my weddings. Why? I hate being stressed. I like to relax in my car. Sometimes I bring coffee. I always bring water. You need to be hydrated. And I just watched Netflix. Yep. And I watch Netflix. I relax. Sometimes I snooze, but I set my alarm. God forbid, you don't want to miss a wedding. I make sure I bring snacks. I mean, that's I'm going to get into that later with the snacks. I like to snack. You will know more about my snacking, but let's not get too hung up on that right now. So I'm kind of hungry. I think I need to eat soon. I know I always need to eat, but what I do in the car too, I check on my phone. Like I like to stay fresh, so I look at poses. How do I want to shoot my bridal parties? So I just browse a little bit to get ideas. It doesn't mean that I necessarily will do those, but it just kind of I might see something that I haven't tried before. It's really important to stay fresh in wedding photography. Trends change all the time, so if you're not like keeping up with your creativity, you will be stale very fast. That's what I do sitting in my car. Before I go in, I put the batteries in the flash, and I make sure all the settings on my camera are right. I make sure that I shoot one card, the bigger card on RAW, and the other one JPEG. Just that way I have a good backup. I make sure for that. I make sure that I have an outer white balance, that my lens is clean. I strap on my cameras. It depends where I am. Like sometimes I just arrive and then strap on my cameras. Here's another really cool thing I do. When sometimes you have a few locations. So the bride's at the hotel, then you have to go to church, then you have to go a different side for portraits, and then another side for the receptions. I punch those in with the arrival time in my phone, so I can just click on it and it'll bring it up on Google Maps or whatever maps Apple. That way I don't have to fumble around in between. It just makes things so much smoother. I hope you're writing this down. So let's take. I want to talk about self-care too. Weddings, like I really always like to get 8 hours sleep. First of all, look at my skin. It's 8 hours sleep. I like to have 8 hours sleeps, preferably 9. And before wedding, if you're tired, you forget stuff, and you want to also. It's a happy day. You want to be excited. So for my self-care, I make sure I bring suntan lotion if I have a wedding outside. I don't want to get all crinkly like a prune. So I put sunblock on beforehand. I bring sometimes some too. I bring water. I make sure I drink enough water. I take little breaks in between to drink some water. Even if you think you might have to pee, if you don't drink water, you'll get lightheaded. I do. The same as if I don't eat, I get very cranky. And people I've worked with confirm to that. And people that work with me know that I make sure they'll get to eat too. Then other things for my self-care. I try to be happy. Like if I try to really embrace the moment that the couple, it's their special day. I try to smile, make them smile. I like to be the bride to be at ease. It's not good if the bride's cranky. Stay out of the way. Don't take it personal. It's their day. I want them to be happy, and I respect if they don't want. if I think something needs to be done and they don't want to do it, I don't try to press it too hard. It depends. If I think they might regret it, if I don't know if there's a great sunset and they don't want to be interrupted, it depends. You have to feel it out. I try to be diplomatic about it. Then another thing, when I arrive at a hotel room, I know the bride sits there and gets her makeup done. I don't like to interrupt the bride. I tell her before if she could gather the rings, the jewelry, the shoes, the bouquet, the garter, anything detailed that she wants to photograph, have it be on one pile. So if the bride is not ready to be photographed because she doesn't have her makeup on, which I advise, don't take photos of her if she doesn't look already a little bit pretty with her makeup on. She won't like the photos because she will look so much better with her makeup on. Believe me, it's not worth it. Concentrate, making those other shots look good, and in between you get some candids. It's always very chaotic in those rooms, especially if it's a small hotel room. I've been in one. Oh my God, it was so hot in there. There was so many people, and then there's hairspray. There's hairspray smell, perfume smell. It can get pretty intense. That's why self-care is really important, and bringing water. But don't be shy to ask for water. If you forgot your water, you know, at least in the Bay Area, tap water is great. Drink some water. All right. So let me think about other things that I want to make sure you won't forget. Oh, the other day, sure enough, I felt I didn't concentrate on getting my gear together. I had switched bags. One of my rolling bags, I have a big rolling bags, the handle broke, so I had to switch into another bag. And I have usually in that bag a compartment for my straps, my camera straps. I forgot my camera straps. And do you know what a pain in the butt it is to shoot without a strap? I was so annoyed. I like because your fingers need rest in between. So you shoot a little bit and then let's let your camera rest on your strap. I had to, and then at the ceremony, I shoot with two cameras, so I put one nearby so I can shoot a little bit, put the other one down, grab the other one. I was really annoyed with myself. So don't forget your camera straps. If you don't have extra compartment, I don't tie them to your bag. I mean, then another thing, don't forget to bring your ID, bring some money in case you need to pay a bridge toll or need to buy something on the way. Bring a credit card. And I don't know where you live, but I try not to underestimate the weather, not the water. It can get pretty cold in San Francisco or in the Bay Area. I do shoot a lot of weddings outside of San Francisco, but often it can cool down towards the evening. I have a jacket, a puffy jacket that you can roll up into a little ball. I like it a lot. You can tie it to your bag too. And I have a vest too. I like to wear layers. I have a black tank top, and then I put a t-shirt over it, and then I bought long, thin t-shirts, long arm t-shirts. That way I could strip my clothes like a layer. Here, look at this. As a man, as a wedding photographer, you don't have to deal with this. But this is a pain to work with. I make sure I have rubber bands. I'm letting my bangs grow up. You see it's a little messy right now. It's outside today. I did not blow dry my hair for you. You can wear it up like this. Sometimes I make a bun. or I wear pigtails. But I had once, when I had this little grow out, it kept blowing into my face. It drove me nuts. So if you're a woman, you have to deal with your hair. You have to find a solution what halfway looks decent, but make it practical, because nothing worse than when you shoot outside and it's windy and your hair's flying all over the place. It's very annoying. I can't think of anything else right now. I think that's enough for now. I don't want to overwhelm you. If you forgot, and if you have any tips for me, please text them to me, or comment them on the video. There can never be enough tips. Oh, here's another one. I just thought of one. When the bride and the bridesmaids often wear high heels, and when they walk down the aisle, because they don't want to stumble, I've noticed sometimes that they look down to the ground so they won't trip, especially if it's on grass. Tell them, smile when you walk down the aisle. You want them to smile. And also, when you take pictures of some people, it's called resting bitch face. Men have it too. So you got to tell people, I want to see some teeth. You got to make them smile. And if you have to crack some dumb joke, then you do it. There's some stuff. Let's get into cell phones. Should we go into cell phones? We all have cell phones. We all think we're photographers. Here's mine right here. I do a lot with it. It takes great pictures. And there's so many professional photographers out there. It's very hard to do an aisle shot nowadays without having a whole bunch of cameras. Like everybody with their camera. Boom, boom. I try to be discreet. There's almost nothing you can do nowadays anymore. You have to just almost let it go. If it's directly in front, if it's like this, if somebody's like this, I'm like, please. I push it out of the way nicely, of course, always nicely. And then in the for you out there that are getting married, if you have relatives that also like to take photos with their professional camera, I just want to say this: it's great to have extra pictures, but we do this professionally. I have to occasionally tell. We call them Uncle Bobs in the photo industry. Tell Uncle Bob where to stand so you won't be in the shot. It's a common in wedding photography in the industry. It's we get it a lot. We have Uncle Bob or Aunt Bob wanting to be creative, and they can be creative. I don't know how good they shoot, but I need to come up with great photos, and they should not be in my shot. So Uncle Bob's, talk to the photographers and be aware that you might be in the photo that you shouldn't be in. I have occasionally gently and nicely pushed an Uncle Bob out of the way. Always nicely. You don't want to upset the relatives. It is good to speak up. And that's one of the arts also to dealing with clientele. You need to be able to speak up. Be like a ninja. Invisible, but firm. If you have 12, I had weddings where I had 12 bridesmaids and 12 groomsmen, young. And there'd be a couple of them drunk. I remember the one wedding, there were a few that had thrown up. They were really young. They might have been even underage. They're thrown up in the limo on the way to the reception. They had to be held up by the other bridesmaids and groomsmen, and it was really hard. You have to be firm, and you have to be a director as a. That's why it's important to have a good night's sleep. You can only be a good director if you're calm and relaxed. You don't want to be stressed, and that's again a reason. Be on time. That's not. I'm not saying that because I'm German. Germans like to be on time. All right, that was a little racist towards the Germans. No, serious. I like to be on time. I think that's all I can think of right now. Like I said, I'm going to close with this because I'm hungry and I'm going to eat. That might be another episode. I will see you next Thursday. Tune in. Have a wonderful weekend and shoot your heart out.